All right, guys, welcome back to the Lions Den Sports Podcast. I'm Chase Gispert,
Now Troy Allen.
and it's been too long.
Yeah.
We understand we had a few week lull. Just been really busy with school and work, but we want to get back to uploading regularly.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna pick up with this week in the NFL, kind of recap last week. But first, let's start with Southeastern.
100%, man.
Really brutal non-conference schedule. Started 1-4, but we have won our first two Southland Conference games. So 3-4 in the year, but most importantly 2-0 in the Southland. Now actually in first place in the Southland. A big homecoming game this week against Stephen F. Austin, back in the Southland. So first time playing them in a few years. Should be exciting. I mean, Southeastern's trending up right now.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. They've looked good the last 2 weeks, especially running the football with Tony Martin junior He's had like multiple games with like over 140, 150 yards.
Yeah, pull up his stats. He's got 830 yards on the season, 7 touchdowns, 143 carries. Yeah,
and averaging nearly 6 yards per carry, which is like really good. Our offense is going through him.
Yeah,
he had 2 straight games with 206 yards and 185 yards.
Yeah,
something crazy like that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's popping off definitely, and he's like one of the reasons why our offense has been, pretty decent the last couple weeks. And I expect much of the same to happen come Saturday.
Yeah, no, I think so too. Should be a good game. Both of these teams are on winning streaks. Southeastern's won 2 straight. SFA's actually won 3 straight. They're 4-2. We're 3-4. But I know, like you said, our non-conference was very tough.
Mm-hmm.
But no, yeah, I think it should be a good game. Hopefully we win. It should be a close game probably.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, Eli Sawyer's played pretty well the last 2 weeks. Obviously, the offense is funneled pretty much primarily through Antonio Martin. You still got Harlan Dixon as well. I want to shout him out as kind of in a change of pace role, but he's still a really good player.
Led the team in rushing last game, I believe.
Yeah. So, it should be a good game for sure. And homecoming kickoff for that one is at 4 p.m. I'll actually be on the call on ESPN Plus if y'all want to tune in, but more importantly, just pack the berry and support them Lions. So yeah, we could move on to the NFL now. Some big trading news: two marquee receivers, Devontae Adams and Amari Cooper, getting traded. Troy, take it away.
Yeah. So these next 3 headlines kind of go hand in hand. Devontae Adams was traded to the 2-4 Jets. The trade happened the day after the Jets lost to the Bills, and then the Bills literally an hour later. Maybe not even an hour later, they got traded. They traded for Amari Cooper from the Browns, and the Steelers strike out on the second straight receiver. So over the offseason, over the offseason, tons of drama with Brandon Ayuk and where he was going, and the Steelers were in heavy trade rumors, and they struck out on Brandon Ayuk. He signed back with the Niners. And then when Adams requested his trade 2 weeks ago, Steelers were yet again, seen in the news as one of the top headlines. Although many fans speculated he was going to go to the Jets and reunite with Aaron Rodgers anyway. Those rumors have been going on since last year. The Steelers were still brought up in conversation as a potential landing target for Devontae Adams, and they struck out on him. But as for the Jets, obviously, it's a good move. Rodgers has looked kind of shaky. He's looked good for some drives, and in other drives he looks pretty shaky. I had a very uncharacteristic game 2 weeks ago where he threw 3 picks. Very uncharacteristic. Usually with Rodgers, he doesn't throw that many picks. Likes to throw the ball away, takes care of the ball and whatnot. Yeah. So I think he'll help with that. And as for Buffalo, they were needing like another wide receiver.
Yeah, definitely.
And their receiving room wasn't all that good, and we knew that heading into the season. But we thought their tight ends would kind of supplement that, and they haven't so far. And Cooper just looked miserable playing in that Browns uniform with Watson as his QB. So I think it's a match made in heaven for both teams, really.
Yeah. Speaking of, where I think let's see, or we could just go into most disappointing teams. The Browns are definitely one of them. I mean, made the playoffs last year. I almost forgot about them until you said that. That's how bad they've been.
Exactly.
1-5, I believe. Deshaun Watson is just simply playing awful football. And they're tied to him with that mega contract. I still don't understand why Stefanski, the Browns head coach, still adamantly defends him when you have a quality backup in Jameis Winston ready to go.
Yep,
don't understand
money, man.
it.
Politics, man.
Yeah, I mean that's all you could figure. They're definitely one of the most disappointing teams. A few others I had. Let's see, Bengals 2-4. Absolutely blew that game to the Ravens a couple weeks ago. Where they could be 3-3. They're a team, since they made the Super Bowl, been trying to get back there. It just seems like they keep coming up short. Still a lot of season left, but 2 games under 500. Their work is cut out for them. The Jags 1-5, just got their first win. Was it last week or the week before?
No, they don't. They lost last week.
Yeah, they lost to the Bears. I think they beat the Colts.
2 weeks ago versus the Colts. Trevor Lawrence threw 300 yards and a touchdown.
They've been terrible. Doug Peterson's on the hot seat. It's weird because they have some weapons. I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. has been one of the standout rookies at receiver. You got Christian Kirk, still a quality slot guy. Gabe Davis from the Bills free agency. Evan Ingram finally came back. Now Etienne got banged up, but Tank Bigsby's been pretty impressive. But their defense has really been the issue. They've been just terrible on that side of the ball. Yep. The Jets, we mentioned, I'd say they're disappointing. Fired their coach, Robert Saleh, last week, 2-4. Now, Devontae Adams, is that enough for them to turn into a playoff team? It might be. We'll see. And then these 2 teams I had, it's mainly because of injuries. So I don't know if you could classify them as disappointing. But still, I mean, their fans obviously aren't happy with current situation. Dolphins 2-3, but with Tua's concussion issue, it seems like he's going to come back. So we'll see with that. And then I also had the Rams. They're 1-4, playoff team from a year ago. Cooper Kupp and Nakua. I mean, their 2 star receivers have been out almost the whole year. I believe Kupp might come back this week. But that's who I had for most disappointing. I know it's kind of a laundry list, but just going through it real quick.
But yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the coffin for a lot of these teams, especially with the Jags. You go back to 2 years ago, they had a huge midseason turnaround. Trevor Lawrence looked like a top 10 QB. They had that huge comeback versus the Chargers. And then last season, they had hype. Calvin Ridley was coming back, and that didn't pan out. And they were 8-3, and then lost like 6 straight games, missed the playoffs. And then this offseason, they did a bit of retooling, and you thought that Trevor was going to revert back to what he was in 2022 or even surpass that. And maybe Doug Peterson was going to, sort of rejuvenate this locker room. And so far, it hasn't panned out. But just one more team I'll throw out there. Just probably the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
They have lost all 3 of their home games so far this season. Going back to their playoff loss versus Green Bay at home, they are giving up 42 points per game at home. This was a team that won 16 straight games at home.
Yeah, they're 8-0
not too long.
Year.
8-0 last year, 8-0 in 2022, and now from their loss to Green Bay till now, they're giving up 42 points per game. That defense looks awful. The offense has been really bad, especially running the football. They cannot run the football at all.
Should have got Derrick Henry.
Yep. Their offensive line has been incredibly inconsistent or just flat out bad at some points. And the team is just over relying on Dak and CD. And whenever and it's easy to scheme against the Cowboys offense when they only have 2 good players. Not to mention Vikings been hurt the last few weeks as well. So I want to throw that team out there. Now, most surprising is definitely for me the Commanders and the Vikings. Both teams by fans and by media people thought that these teams were going to, although they had some talent, we thought that they would be struggling. But the Vikings are 5-0 on top of the NFC North, and Jaden Daniels. I'm just thinking of the basketball player, but Jaden Daniels, he's looked amazing. Yeah. He's looked a lot better than I thought he would as well. Absolutely. He looks like a mini version of like Lamar out there. It's crazy.
He does.
And that offense ran Who's their head coach again? I forgot.
Oh,
Front of the Cardinals.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
He's their offensive coordinator.
Yeah. Cliff Kingsbury. People thought his it was like a bad match because he
Yeah.
was so bad in Arizona, but they look pretty good in it. He looks pretty good in Washington.
No, absolutely. Yeah, Commanders, I think, hands down. We're going to kind of get into the current MVP ladder, but to be honest, Jaden Daniels runaway rookie of the year, but I think, to me, I don't think anyone's been better than him. I would, if the season ended now, I would vote him MVP.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say, oh, he's a rookie, blah, 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 but, I mean, just look at his numbers and watch him play. He's been unbelievable. But, yeah, Commanders for sure, Vikings as well, 5-0, Sam Darnold redemption arc. Nobody saw that coming. And then one other team I'd like to shout out is the Bears. You know, Caleb Williams kind of got off to a rocky start, but he's really picked up his play the last couple of weeks, throwing for a lot of yards and touchdowns. Keenan Allen's back healthy. He scored twice last week. 4-2 now on the year, and they have a really good defense as well.
The NFC North all have 4+ wins.
I was going to say, NFC North division best in football. I mean, the Bears and the Packers, I believe, are both 4-2, and they're tied for last place.
Yeah.
Lions are 5-1, and then the Vikings are 5-0.
Yeah.
But yeah, that looks like the whole division would make the playoffs if it ended today. But yeah, I like to shout out the Bears because still rocking with my guy Jaden Daniels. Like I said, I think he deserves MVP if the season ended today. But Caleb Williams got a lot of bad shake. I think both of these quarterbacks, when we look back at it years from now, they're going to be like, man, the 1 and 2 picks.
Oh yeah, easily.
They're going to be great studs. Yeah, they look like they're going to be elite level quarterbacks in this league.
100%. And then moving on, we sort of hint at it. Sort of what's the MVP ladder looking like through the next couple of weeks? Bettor's odds, I believe Patrick Mahomes is in first place. He does have 6 touchdowns and 6 picks, so he's having like a rocky start, at least stats wise. But if I had to pick someone, I would probably lean towards like Lamar, because his stats are great. The Ravens have won 4 straight games, so you gotta give it where credit is due. He's only had 2 picks on the season. I think Joe Burrow is also a contender, but the Bengals they gotta get right. yeah. If that record was flip flop, it'll be a conversation. Yeah. But if the Bengals get to 10-7, then we can start having some talks. I know you mentioned Jaden Daniels as a pick as well. I think that's a great pick. In terms of like who could potentially win it, like not as a QB, even though it is a QB award.
I know. I wish.
I wouldn't mind Derrick Henry winning it. I'm always go to bat for TJ Watt. The way he impacts the game defensively. I believe he's top 5 in sacks. He had 2 forced fumbles just versus the Raiders. Like his impact on the game is crazy. Easily the best defensive player in football right now, in my opinion. So yeah. Who you got?
I would say I said Jaden Daniels, but yeah, Lamar. I think Lamar beat him head up last week. Would have no problem with that. Obviously, reigning MVP, playing at a really high level. I'd say probably between him and Jaden, but it's so early. I know I'm not trying to pile on Mahomes. He's still the best quarterback in the league, but I think it is a little ridiculous, to be honest, how he's considered the favorite when he's done 6 passing touchdowns and 5. I think they've only played 5 games because they so one more than
on pace for 17 touchdowns and 17 picks.
And 6 interceptions already. The yardage is pretty good, but I just think that's a little ridiculous. It's like you're just giving it to him because he's the best player, but he has not played like that this year. And I know Rashee Rice out for the year. Hollywood Brown's out for the year, never even suited up. Kelsey's aging, but still, I mean, there's just players that have been playing much better than him, in my opinion, such as Lamar and Jaden Daniels.
Exactly.
And then, so we can do a little Thursday night football preview. Filming this on just a Wednesday while we're filming this, but sure it'll drop tomorrow. But tomorrow night, Thursday night football, my lowly Saints started off 2-0, lighting the world on fire, and we've lost 4 in a row. Absolutely injury ravaged. But Sean Payton is coming back to the Dome, so that'll be kind of a little added, I guess.
Step pump.
Yeah, a little added caveat or whatever, if you will, or storyline in the game. Broncos actually, I feel like they've quietly. Now they lost to the Chargers last week. They're 3-3, but I feel like they've quietly kind of flown under the radar. They have a good defense.
Yep.
Pat Surtain, I think, is the best corner in the league. He will be out though. One thing we could talk about just real quick is injuries have been unbelievable. The Saints are down. Our starting quarterback, top two receivers, Shaheed might go on IR. He's out for tomorrow. Chris Olave just got ruled out earlier for a concussion. Our starting center's out, McCoy. I believe Ruiz is out as well, like two of our starting O-linemen, as well as people on defense. And then the Broncos, I know Pat Surtain's out. I'm sure they have some others, but anyway, to be honest, I'll be watching because I'm a Saints fan, but I could objectively say not a very attractive Thursday night football matchup. Mm-hmm. I guess usually, so we'll do our picks just in private before the weekend, but since Thursday's tomorrow, might as well pick now just for that game.
Yeah.
As much as it pains me, I got to go with the Broncos. I just think the Saints are too injury riddled right now. Although I am looking forward to seeing Spencer Rattler play, but he's going to be down his top two weapons, so it's going to be tough.
But yeah, I agree. Yeah, that offense is just depleted, and then going up against that Broncos defense and stuff like that. And then obviously it's a revenge game for both teams, but I think given the fact that Sean Payton is going up against an injury-riddled Saints team, I think he'll come out with a win in NOLA.
Yeah, I agree. I'm curious because he brought us our only Super Bowl. I mean, Drew Brees and Sean Payton basically are the Saints, coached and quarterback the golden era of Saints football.
Yep.
But he is kind of a cocky guy, kind of went south at the end. I wonder if he'll get any boos. I don't think he should, but kind of be interesting. I know the crowd, the crowds get carried away sometimes. That'll be funny. But yeah, I think the only other thing, Drake May is interesting. I think did he have 2 or 3 picks? But overall, I thought it was good. He threw for 3 touchdowns, pushing the ball downfield.
Yep. Something that New England hasn't had with Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, Brissett, I think, had 2 touchdowns in however many games.
Yeah, 4 or 5 games. And Drake May comes in and throws 3.
Threw for 3. So that's that. You love to see that. Was he the 3rd overall pick?
No. I believe it's 4th.
Okay, 3rd or 4th. Yeah. So it seems like this rookie QB class is looking really strong. Obviously, I have Jaden and Caleb, but looks like May might showing some promise at least through 1 week. Interesting to see. And he gets a really good matchup against the Jags defense this coming week, so he should continue to light it up. For fantasy, don't want to bore y'all with too many starts and sits.
I just have one.
Yeah, go
ahead. So one of my sits is Trevor Lawrence. I dropped him for Baker Mayfield in my fantasy league because Baker Mayfield was just shitting out there on waiver wire. Yeah. Okay, bet I'm gonna bring him on real quick. But as a start, I do like DK versus the Hawks. Excuse me. Not Hawks. Atlanta Falcons. My bad. Think of basketball again. But yeah, I do like DK versus the Falcons. I think he's gonna pop off, and also I do like Kyler Murray as a start, obviously, versus the Chargers.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just gonna look at the games real quick, kind of freeball this. Broncos Saints. I'm not even touching that game. To be honest, I don't think many points are gonna be scored if you have to start somebody. But I don't even see who you would for either team. Exactly. Patriots Jags is intriguing. I don't think it's time to start Drake May yet, but if you're in a deeper league, you could pick him up. But I do like Demario Douglas, the slot receiver for the Patriots. He's kind of quietly been having a solid season, especially as of late. And like I said, Jags, I believe, are, if not the worst, one of the worst secondaries in the league statistically. Exactly. Another one I actually like is Tony Pollard against the Bills. Tajay Spears is out, and the Bills' rush defense has been their weakness this year. Breece Hall just ran for over 100 on Monday night. So yeah, I like that one. If Malik Neighbors comes back, I like him against the Eagles. Their secondary, to me, they haven't struggled as bad this year, but I don't know. I still don't really trust them. Um, let's see some others. Justin Jefferson. Well, I mean, you're not going to bench him.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I should rephrase that. He's going to have a monster game, but I think Jordan Addison
Could also have a big
could
game
also
too.
have a monster game because the Lions secondary is their weak point. Looking at some other games. One, now you can't sit him, but now maybe I'm talking about Joe Burrow against the Browns. I don't know what it is against the Browns. They're 1-5, so maybe it won't matter this year. But he always plays bad against Cleveland. I don't know what it is. So maybe temper expectations. But Panthers, Deontay Johnson against the Commanders secondary. For sure, and then Jaden Daniels as well. I mean, you're going to be starting him regardless, but I think he'll have another monster game against the pretty poor Panthers D. Looking at some others, is Tua? Do you know if he's coming back this week?
I don't think so.
Okay. Colts secondary is pretty bad. Maybe Tyreek and Jalen Waddle kind of play well even without Tua.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, kind of just looking at some other games. Probably the only other one I'd point out is Ravens, Buccaneers. Any kind of fringe starters you have on either team would probably be a good week because that should be a shootout. I think it is the highest over-under this week. Yeah. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, I believe that's it. Other than how's your fantasy league going?
I'm in too many leagues. I'm in 4 leagues.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah. Clear my throat. Apologies, but yeah, 4 leagues. What week are we in now? Is it 6?
7.
Yeah, we're going into 7, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so I'm 6-0 in my best league or my best team right now. I'm 4-2, I believe. Yeah, in 1, and then I'm 3-3 in the other 2. So pretty good.
Yeah, and I took over one of my friends' leagues. He was 1-3. I'm now 1-5. But like I mentioned earlier, I made some roster shakeups. I dropped Trevor Lawrence for Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Let's see what I did. I switched out a kicker too, just something minor. And I switched Dallas's defense because -7 points last week for the Bengals defense, which isn't much better. But Bengals defense is averaging more points.
Yeah,
compared to Dallas.
Didn't want to forget about this. This is our tradition. We'll continue it. So Troy wins it.
Oh yeah,
he was 12-2 last week, which we understand is week 6, 7 now. I think into the season, but we're just restarting the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive us for that, but he went 12-2 last week. I think I went 8-6. I want to say. So yeah, not a great week for me. 12-2. Can't get much better than that. But yeah, so that'll do it for the episode. Come out to homecoming 4 p.m. at Strawberry Stadium on Saturday against Stephen F. Austin.
Pack the berry, man.
And line up. That'll do it. I'm Chase.
I'm Troy.
And that'll do it for the Lions Den Sports Podcast. We'll see you guys next week.
All right, peace.